What is going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning into another edition of On the Road to Victory. I am your host, Jimmy Smith, and I hope you're all having yourselves a great weekend. I want to start off right off the bat by apologizing for not having Fan Friday last night. I just fell asleep. So, been a long effing week for me if you've been tuning in. Got rested up. I'm ready to rock and roll. So, we're going to have ourselves a little Sicko Saturday live later tonight. Unfortunately, we had to cut out top matchup show because I just don't have the effing time. So please forgive me. I should have taken a bye week, but hope you're all enjoying your weekend. I'm ready to relax, enjoy some football tomorrow. Hope you're ready to do the same. But I appreciate you guys taking the time, hitting that like button, sharing, subscribing, all that stuff you do to support the channel. Cannot thank you enough for that. It really does help. So thank you for that. But I've got some information for you. And it's not just the practice squad elevations, but just like with every show on Practice Squad Elevations, we add anything that happens, any active roster moves, anything like that. So the Eagles have a couple moves. The Browns have a bunch of moves. They've got a bunch of injuries. We've talked about that. Go check out all those videos, the injury reports, the game status reports, everybody who's out, questionable, all that stuff. You can look at the depth chart here, and you can see some of that stuff. But let's take a gander at the Practice Squad Elevations, active roster moves for both the Eagles and Browns. And if you have any questions, comments, anything, feel free to leave it down below, or maybe just a little "Go Birds!" But let's rock and roll here. Let's look at the Eagles first and foremost. And we know that we have one active roster spot heading into this game. We talked about the guys that are on IR and the PUP list, Sidney Brown, Ainias Smith, both having their 21-day practice windows open. But that doesn't mean that they're going to be back right away. So we were hopeful one of those guys, Sidney Brown especially, was going to be back, but does not seem to be the case here, unless maybe they release someone, add him later. Hey, but this week for now, Paris Campbell was added to the active roster. If you remember, we talked about the fact that he cannot be elevated anymore. You can only do that 3 times. So he had his 3 times. Now they're looking, for some depth there in case anything happens. Maybe somebody doesn't want to step it up. This dude has been doing his best here, so they like what they see. He will be on the roster tomorrow. Then Jack Driscoll, he was elevated as well from the practice squad. So this is, a depth move. Maybe he's not even dressing, or maybe someone else on the line won't be dressing, because remember, you can only have 48 guys dressed for this game. So look, this team, we talk about it. It's really, 46 guys. I'm sorry. I don't know what I'm talking about. It registered what I said. So, look, we're going to take a look here at the list here. So, as I said, Brown, Smith, they're still on their list. You can see the asterisk. They're ready within the next couple of weeks to come off. We'll see about the rest of these guys. Britton Covey, a few weeks. But Alberto still probably has a few weeks to go. I know they're infatuated with him for some reason, but yeah, James Bradbury. Okay, so let's move along here. Let's look at with Paris Campbell added. You've got AJ and Devontae back, so let's go. But making sure in case anything happens, we're not down to no receivers. So Dotson, Wilson, and Campbell are the other receivers. And again, as I mentioned about Jack Driscoll, you see down there, adding a depth piece. Maybe someone else is inactive here on this team. Maybe they trade. So you never know with these things what could happen or what they're thinking. So. He's elevated, but doesn't necessarily mean he's even dressing. So we shall see. But the offense, good to go. Lane Johnson back. Oh, yeah. Jalen Hurts, he's about to shut up all these haters, run the damn ball with Saquon, and I'm feeling pretty good about it. Now on the defensive side of the ball, talked about Cooper DeJean. Will he finally effing start? And, the talk of the town last couple of weeks has finally been that, he just may be doing so. So I'm getting my wish. Let's effing go. We got rid of Devin White. So more opportunity for Trotter, Van Sumeren, Burks to step it up. And I need some more Jalix Hunt reps as well. But, hey, hopefully we learned a lot during the bye. I'll be excited about it. Now, we also talked about the fact that Cooper DeJean, he could be punt returner, but if he's starting at nickel corner, maybe not put too much on his plate. So maybe Jahan Dotson could help us there. Maybe they finally use Isaiah Rodgers. You never know what could happen here, but love to see something from the return game. But everybody healthy here. That is fantastic effing news. Nakobe Dean was a little banged up. I know people feel a certain way about the bad game or two he's had. And look, he's got to continue to develop. Still very young, second season playing. So, obviously he was hurt that one anyways. But you understand that he needs to develop. And we're hopeful for him. But if not, You got Jeremiah Trotter Jr. in the wings. I've seen some people saying he's starting now. All these, I hate when people lie to you. That is not the case. But, please don't, if he does get reps, don't be attacking his dad, him. He needs to be cut. The worst pick ever. Fire Howie. Just, if he misses a tackle or has one bad play or something, let's not do that. The kid's a rookie. So let's keep in mind, we need to let people develop. We don't always have to fire and trade everyone. So I think either way, Nakobe Dean, continue to develop. And if not, you've got other pieces in the wings. Now let's take a look at the Browns and their elevations and, other moves as well. And I'll just kind of tell you about a couple of them because, I wasn't making graphics for all 97 things they did. But their practice squad elevations, Jalen Darden and then Chris Edmonds. And I'll explain Darden here in a second when we look at this injury report. But they also grabbed some of those guys off of IR. So we were talking about, Mohamed Diabate. He is no longer on that list that we were looking at. Maurice Hurst, the second, their defensive tackle, is no longer there. Mike Hall got taken off suspension. They did add James Hudson. So I put him on there. But they also, another roster move they've made was getting rid of, and obviously you see Chubb and Hines. These guys are all not playing. They're still on their lists. So just like with the Eagles, these guys are practicing in that 21-day window, but not activated for this game. But Darden, the reason he was elevated was you get rid of James Proche there, and he is somebody that helps them as a return man. So not really for the offense. You've got Tillman and Thrash as your backups to Cooper, Judy, and Moore. But Pocic is out, didn't elevate anybody. They must feel comfortable with Nick Harris and everybody else they have. So no doubt, man. But then on the defensive side of the ball, we talked about it. Edmund was probably going to get elevated due to the fact that Rodney Hickman and Grant Delpit, their defense or their safeties here, man, both out. That is a bummer. Rodney McLeod and Bell, but now you've got Edmonds as depth. And they also added Diabate back. So we talked about that. We'll see if Hicks is playing. He's questionable. You've got Denzel Ward questionable. So a lot of stuff going on here for the Browns. We'll see which of these guys is actually able to play there. Key pieces. But you can see I added Darden as their punt returner and kick returner. That is what he brings to the table for them. So maybe they add him to the active roster at some point. But for now, he has been elevated to their active roster for week 6 against the Eagles, baby. So I'll be back later tonight. We'll have Sicko Saturday. But if you have any questions, comments right now, love to hear from you. Tune in later tonight. Anything you got on your mind, we're going to rock and roll. We're going to get ready for this comeback, this get back. And look, it really, this season, let me just explain the fact that it's still very early. And this team, we knew would have some bumpy roads because of the new coaches, the new players, all this stuff that you got to be patient with. And I know everybody says the season's over, everybody sucks, but my God, I wish they would learn a little bit about football first. But they'll be back on board soon enough. I'll see you later tonight, but if you need anything, feel free to reach out. Doesn't have to be about the Birds. Always here for you guys as you are for me. But have yourselves a great weekend, great Saturday night. But until next time, I'm Jimmy Smith, and this is On the Road to Victory. You all stay safe out there, and as always, go Birds!